Hi there, my name's Kaylee Humphreys. From the University of Nevada, Las Vegas, and I'm here today to talk to you about my continuous quality improvement project and what that process looked like and what I learned from it and what kind of outcomes I received. So, my main goal for this project was to improve my time management skills and arrive 5 minutes early to all my commitments. My commitments included my workout classes and my arrival time at my job. So the team members I chose for this were my roommate, Jocelyn, and I chose her because we have the same job and work schedule, and we also attend the same workout classes. So I figured she would be my best bet at a team member to help keep me on track and help me achieve my goals. So my specific aim for this project was to implement changes that decrease my time spent on my morning routine. That way, if I decrease my time on my morning routine, I figured I could arrive to all my commitments early. So how I did this is I measured and recorded my time spent on my morning routine and then assessed how this impacted my arrival time to my scheduled commitments. I also wanted to make sure that this change in my life didn't affect any other part of my well-being in a negative way. So this was my process map. This is my life in a day-to-day basis. I always start off if I work or not. If I don't, then I go to workout class. And then if I do, then I go through my morning routine of reading and showering and kind of doing my personal care process. And then I was able to determine that it was in fact my morning routine that was causing me to be late. So this is my fishbone diagram, and this kind of breaks down my morning routine, and I was able to figure out what I could decrease my time spent on in order to prevent myself from running late. So this ranges anywhere from my wake up time, which I didn't want to mess with, only because I wanted to make sure that I was getting enough sleep. Basically, what I found was that I was spending too much time either getting ready for the day or making coffee or making my lunch, and then not giving myself enough leeway for traffic. So how I did this was with the Plan, Do, Study, Act model. This always begins with the planning phase. So this is where I determined my goal, gave myself a roadmap of how this was going to look like, and I realized that running late was having a negative impact on my personal and professional life, which I definitely didn't want to do. So this is where I realized that I needed to focus on my morning routine. And so this is where I collected baseline data. So as you can see, every time that I spent a longer time on my morning routine, the more I was deviated from my goal arrival time. So this was over a process of 5 days that I recorded this data. And then I wanted to implement changes in the next phase. So this is the doing phase. This is where we did a trial run. So I broke this down to where I did 2 days. And the reason I did this is because after 2 days, I realized that what I was doing was not working. So my first 2 days started out as making my lunch and coffee the night before, and then not really changing anything else. And this had a small change in my arrival time. The first day I was 5 minutes past my goal, and the second day I was 3 minutes past my goal. So just minimal changes on my arrival time. So I knew I had to study this, which is the next phase, and realize that I needed to implement even more changes. So this is when I realized I should place clocks in every room, because I knew I wasn't being aware of my time as I went through my morning routine. I even put a clock in the shower to make sure that I knew how long my shower was taking, etc. So this was a study phase, and these changes were implemented in the act phase, and we'll see how this turned out. So this is data over 3 days where I achieved my goal 2 of the 3 days, and the only day I didn't, I was only 1 minute past my goal time. So as you can see by this chart, those first 2 days are when I only rearranged my lunch and coffee time. And then the last 3 days are where I put the clock. So it's when I put the clocks everywhere so I could figure out how long I was spending on my routine is when I really achieved my goal. So this is another little graph. It shows the upper limit or upper control limit, the lower control limit, the minutes I spent on my morning routine, and then the mean of all of that. So kind of similar to the last graphic, And you can see after I implemented the clock change is when I really started achieving my goal and getting under that mean. So overall, I feel like implementing those clocks everywhere and allowing me to be aware of my time really did what's best. So now that I can actually get places early and even before being on time, it has really had a positive impact on my relationships in my personal life and also in my professional life. And future implications for this would just be to sustain what I'm doing and keep that going for all aspects of my life, and especially as I become a nurse practitioner, etc., that being punctual is very important. And I'm also excited because now I know how to do a continuous quality improvement project, and I feel like this will be extremely helpful in all my further graduate projects and being able to learn from that process and make improvements as needed, even in school and in my workplace. So that's all I did for that, and that was my continuous quality improvement project, and thanks for listening.